Hey, hello everyone! Welcome back to Scion. I'm Simon, he, him, also known as Wandering DM. I'll be GMing today, our session. We have one missing player. Morning will be back, next week. That said, sponsors. My brain capacity is a little on the slow side this morning, so bear with me, please. But I would just like to thank our sponsors here at Wandering DM before we begin. Of course, Magen Press, makers of 5th edition D&D supplements. I believe they have a Kickstarter coming up soon for the Book of Mimic. I know it is a PDF that already exists if you enjoy putting mimics in everything. But they're also, I think they're kickstarting it as a bigger physical product. Then you can also check out Roll20, which is the platform we use for all of our games here at Wandering DM. And of course, who would we be without Found Familiar? Great coffee company and one of the only thing that is keeping me awake at the moment. So thank you, Found Familiar. And of course, I am now a DICE affiliate with Die Hard Dice. And if you want to get some shiny new dice for your in-person games, as you might be able to, depending on where you are, be able to play in person. That said, you can head out to dieharddice.com and you can use code WanderingDM to get 10% off your entire order. Without further ado, as I start the music, because I didn't do it before we went live, let's go and introduce our cast. We'll start with the person to my right on the overlay, and then we'll do the second row after. Hi, Lynn. How are you on this Saturday?
I'm doing good. Temperature is cool. I get to put layers on. I'm very happy about that, and I'm very happy to play tonight. And I am Lynn, she, her, and I am playing Dee, mostly she, her, daughter of Venari.
Next up on the other row, we'll start with Anino. Hi, how are you?
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. I use he, him pronouns, and in this campaign, I play Eddie Kahele, the scion of the Monkey King, and not a were-gorilla yet.
Only when you see the full moon and you still have your tail on, or something like that. Next, we have Robert. Hi.
Hello, I'm Robert, otherwise known as Hawkeye, or Kentucky Hawkeye. I'm finally able to be here tonight, work schedule wise, and I am playing Professor Finbar O'Dubda, and he is the scion of Ogma.
And then, last but not least, we have Hannah.
Hey, I'm Hannah. I use she, her pronouns, and for this game, I'm playing Kieran Kearney, scion of Loki, who uses he, him pronouns.
And so last week, the group left the junkyard and basically headed out to Killian's apartment and began investigating the place. Since my brain is a little foggy, can one of you pick up? Because I can't do two things at the same time.
So I believe we started off at that house. No, I'm sorry. We didn't start off at the house. We started off at the junkyard, where we finished some rather terrible diplomacy with a dick gnome. And through haphazard searching of the vehicle, we discovered a key that would allow us into Killian's apartment. It was a hoarder's paradise. It was not, it was not ready for showing. There was a lot of garbage. Videotapes of Killian's trip with the Dick Gnome across the world, probably searching for other folks like them I don't think we have too many dick gnomes, so that's fine. Also, dick gnomes, because I just feel like I should say that as much as possible on today's stream. And so we did our best imitation of private investigators. And that was when Kieran discovered something not great. It was a skeleton in the room with some weird moss growing out of it. And we were all trying to figure out how that skeleton got there and why it died. I believe it got there because it was moved there, and death happened by poison. Was it poison?
Yep, cyanide.
Cyanide, which was horribly depressing. There was also this globe that looked interesting enough that it should bear further investigation. I think one other clue that we
found videotapes. You found videotapes.
Yes. So we did find those videotapes that I mentioned. But one thing that we noticed was that there were only drinks in the house. Spoiled drinks, but only drinks, which kind of reinforces the question, what was it that Killian was eating that would force him to store that stuff in another separate location that we had marked on a map? And so I think that's where we would be picking up.
Yep, back in the bedroom, you had gone over, like, the body, the fact that the skeleton was, like, covered in moss. Part of it was still showing, but it was mostly because there must have been something, from what you deduced anyway, there was something, like, over the body before the moss took hold. Yeah, the cyanide bottle and that was mostly it. The skeleton itself didn't look like they had been damaged, like that the death was violent. But otherwise, we'll pick back up at that point with the 5 of you in the bedroom surrounding Killian's body.
Were we able to identify? I was in and out for last time around, unfortunately. Did we identify if this type of moss is native to this region?
You did it with the mushrooms, and it's like it's the same. Both the mushrooms and the moss is not native to, like, Eastern England. It's more northern France, but, like, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to have it grow there. Like, it's not native, but it can be grown. Like, it has the right
especially if his phallic friend is Gallic, it would make sense that he might be carrying some of those kind of spores with him then. Okay. Interesting.
And there were the Post-its everywhere.
Right, including the one about the evil eye.
Were there Post-its in this room as well?
Yep.
And I believe we also noticed that the smell of, I think it was ozone.
Yeah.
Ozone everywhere in the house.
Yeah, but here it seemed to be stayed off. And I think we were kind of wondering whether or not it was because of the Killian's scent that was keeping the rest of it out or overpowering it, or if there's something in here that was specifically protecting against that ozone. Or rather, whatever caused the ozone. So,
what do you do?
oh. kind of doesn't seem right to leave this here, but I don't have any clues as to where we should take it.
I don't either. I mean, probably should expect to see this, but it's. I mean, yeah, maybe we should. I mean, what should we do?
Well, if he had any immediate family, wouldn't they have already come to investigate? So probably the only person who cares would be his buddy.
Yeah.
We should at least tell him what became of his friend so he can dispose of them if he so chooses.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the best guess.
So that way that the remains can be interred some sort of humanely fashion.
I'm going to continue taking. I'm going to take pictures of the post just in case we need it again.
Okay.
Anything on here?
Yeah. So some of them had like names of locations in England. Others had names. You know, like they were crossed out from time to time, like this Mr. Thompson or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, rarer but still present, those little post-its that talked about the evil eye.
Okay.
Like the one that he was probably in the process of writing, though it wasn't a post-it, it's a little more like on a small notepad, saying that he was given the evil eye.
Yeah. Okay. Dee's gonna just double check underneath like some of the post-its, just make sure there's nothing like underneath it.
Like a random one or
just like a few, like now that she's like documented like one of the ones she's taking pictures of, like a section, just making sure that like nothing is written underneath. So it's like
so as you start like peeling off post-its on the walls and everything, you see that from time to time, not all of them, but some do have like they hide marks in Sharpie, in black Sharpie, made on the wall.
On the wall. Hey, you know all the post-its that are on the wall? Take the pictures and just kind of check on. Look at this. There's stuff underneath it too. Great.
Finbar will go over and start taking some of the post-its off the wall, but he'll kind of take them off in order, kind of like if you're like reading across the page, ding, 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 ding,
like
ding.
top left, bottom right.
Yeah. So that way, if we, for some reason, if we need to reconstruct it, we can get a visual that way.
So you start removing them one by one, and as Dee said, like some of them have like drawing in the back, and those drawing, as you remove some of this stuff, they, in multiple places, they make up a large circular eye. Except that the eye is within like 7 parentheses. Like 7 on each side, right?
I wonder.
Does this match the one in the bathroom? Or is that a different number of like parentheses around it?
The one in the bathroom was 7 concentric circles.
Okay.
Wonder if they're referring to, according to some of the legends on Baelor, he had multiple eyelids, depending on who you talk to, anywhere from 3 to 15. And each one had to be lifted up in order to get to a certain power that that Baelor's eye had. I wonder if these parentheses were reference to those different eyelids that have to be removed.
With your knowledge Finbar of, Irish mythology. In let's say in the Scion universe,
Mhm.
7 is the number that is the most popular.
Yep.
Like you would know that like between 3 and 15, the one that comes up the most
Most is
7.
the 7. Yeah. 7, the number of perfection, the number of completion.
So while D and Finbar are removing post-its, I would just like to know, Eddie and Kieran, like, do you help with the post-it tasks, or were you going to set about to do something else?
I guess I'll help with the post-it tasks since, now that we've had our guinea pigs prove that they aren't being immediately mauled when they pull the tabs off the wall. There's no immediate danger, so Kieran will help.
Kieran after the museum, just like
He's wary. He doesn't want to touch anything, right?
I think Eddie is actually going to go back and try to investigate that globe.
Okay. The one that's in the bedroom.
Yes.
So again, for those who weren't there last time, sorry, the globe is this big, earth, wood made out of wood, where the not fully topographical, but the mountain ranges and everything are sort of a bas relief on the globe itself, and it's held together by a very heavy solid wood frame. And the thing, Kieran tried to lift it. That didn't work.
Well, I mean, it's not a problem for Eddie, I'm going to assume.
It is human heavy.
Okay.
The whole thing is probably I don't know, 200 pounds max.
Ooh. I'll try to see if I can.
It is heavier than it looks like, I can tell you that.
I'll try to move it to an area where I could walk around it and investigate it a little further.
Is there a specific area in the house? Because right now it's in the office, the second guest room.
Yeah, well, I would just want to pull it out from where it is to the center of the room so that,
Okay.
I could, more than one person can examine it, essentially.
With everyone else being a little bit all over the house, what I'll say is, because everyone's moving about, if you want to jump into the scene, go ahead. We'll say that it's at that point that your character, was going through this room, taking post-its out. So yeah, you drag it, or in your case, you can lift it. So you just lift it, set it down in the middle of the guest room, so you can actually walk all around it, because remember, it was in a corner.
Right.
So the I'm gonna call them arms, but they surround the whole globe. Basically, the frame itself around has all these little notches that would represent different parallels and what's the other one?
So latitude and longitude then.
Latitude and longitude, yeah. But they don't quite match what you would normally see on a regular globe. There's too many of them.
Would these be ley lines then, possibly, instead of cartography?
From what you know of magic, Finbar, ley lines normally aren't like set in a grid pattern around the world. If you look at these notches, they're specifically a grid. It's just like, imagine if normally you would have, I don't know, like let's say 24 around the globe. Well, right now there's maybe 4 times that. It's like if someone had marked every inch, half inch, and quarter inch around it. But there are no numbers. Just little notches. And the notches were made, Eddie, you can also see that like just by looking at it. They weren't made after the fact. Like, it seems that this thing was built and the notches were made like when it was built. Like, it's intentional is what I meant.
So Eddie's going to try to manipulate the globe to see if he can line up the notches to the United Kingdom and see if there's any specific region or location that might pop up that would look relevant.
When you start to move the globe, it takes a bit of like torque for you to start moving it. Like, it was almost rusted on its not screws, but like the things that hold it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You need to force a little, but then you can easily turn it around, rotate it, and then have it match, like 2 of the notches matching the United Kingdom. As you do so, you Finbar, who has presence of magic, and I think nobody else has it. Can anybody else detect like magic aside from like the scent of divine that everyone has?
Yeah, I've got presence of magic.
Okay. So the globe, for a split second, emitted like the tiniest spark of magic.
Can I come over to the globe and try to investigate it further, more closely?
Yes. Well, if Eddie will let you, because he's turning it and using it right now.
Yeah.
He'll just hold his hands up and step back.
Oh, also, that's not true. I forgot. Eddie, you also sent something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For a split second.
I take it you
Access
felt it as
money.
well.
I did. Where? Like within a mile of where we are?
No. On the globe. You sort of sensed in a flash that somewhere in the UK there's an Axis Mundi.
Huh. This is a weird trigger.
Well, it's not something that, like, even though you're a new Scion and everything,
Right.
you kind of know instinctually that that's not how it should work.
Hey, Finbar, do you think there's anything out there that could activate or open Axis Mundi? Or do you think this globe is something that could open up a Axis Mundi?
Not sure if it's something that could open it, but maybe its purpose is to determine where they are. Of course, there could be hospitals made to open them as well, but I'm not aware of anything specific. But as I've learned over the time that we've all been together, I think anything is possible or believable at this point. But this appears to be not just a regular globe. It definitely has some sort of purpose.
Just for I guess just as an experiment, Eddie is going to try to maneuver the globe to try to line up. Why am I forgetting this?
The place, Niantic?
Niantic, yes.
Yeah.
He's going to see if he can try to locate Niantic on the globe.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
I mean, it's... Oh, for us, it's somewhere on the East Coast. Well, like, you know in-game where the city is. And as you line up, more or less, like, let's say, around Massachusetts, again, little tiny spark. There is something. So perhaps you're just not doing it the right way. There might be something else that you need to do for the spark to like remain. Perhaps it was tied to Killian, and like he could use the whole thing, whereas you can use a fraction of it. But like definitely this object, which is, by the way, completely magically undetectable. Because when it stops, even Finbar, presence of magic goes away.
Hey, you two seem pretty interested with that globe. Anything so far? I mean, I got the rest of the room. It
appears to have some sort of magical, some sort of arcane power to it. When we move it we've moved it to certain areas on this grid, different things have popped up.
And
not sure, not sure if it's a form of arcane radar, so to speak, or if it's something more. Don't know at this point.
Eddie, do you still have the thing? The Killian's object still?
Torque?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually wearing it around his neck.
I don't know, it's worth a try and use it with the thing.
All right.
It's worth a try.
Yeah, it works like a divining rod or something.
There had to be a reason why.
Why
Probably more than keepsake or something like that. I don't know, it's worth a try. There's so many things in this house.
I guess he'll try to wave the torque over the globe, see if anything happens.
No spark, no pull, no push, no changes in the either the presence of magic or your divine sense. Things have remained as they were.
Did you actually try touching the globe with the thing?
He'll do so.
If you put it on, it doesn't do anything more.
Oh, worth a shot.
Yeah, it's worth a try. Use object with other object usually works in games. So figure we try.
Finbar's
in character. That's just like
Finbar wants to maneuver the globe and try to center the place in Ireland where we were on it to see if it picks up that gateway that Morning was interacting with.
So when you put the notches well, I mean, notches are everywhere, so it's
Mhm.
kind of easy to line it up. But the moment you line it up, it sparks again.
Yeah, this is some sort of arcane radar. This is the place where we were in Ireland, and it's picking up where morning was helping those dead souls find their gateway home, so to speak.
He's going to concentrate hard on this, get real close to this globe and just like, do you have spirit in you, or do you like the torque? And
you would feel that it is like the torque.
okay.
However, what little bit more of info I can give you is if the torque was, let's say, a self-powered object,
Mhm.
this one is unpowered.
Yeah, this thing has definitely a semlink, because this one is one of those doesn't have a spirit to it. The same way most things. So it's like the torque. So I think we're on the right track with this thing, at least. Although it would have been nice to have it ask what it was used for.
You know, maybe something in the room where it was kept would have seen him use it and could tell us.
Just gonna look around. It's like, if there's anybody here that can help. We're friends of Killian, and we want to figure out what he was so interested in. If any of you can help us with this, especially with this globe. We are like-minded souls, as he was.
You begin to hear the rustling of paper from inside the desk.
Oh,
You remember, like, he had like a bunch of different like fancy papers in
Yeah.
the drawers.
yeah.
So you hear it rustle.
Oh, hey. She'll open up the drawer and just kind of like figure out where
There
this-
is a very intricate, I'll say, origami sculpture of a sad face.
Oh,
Like, it requires more than one sheet of paper, but
Mhm.
somehow the papers like folded themselves to look like a frowny face. I should say a sad face.
Mhm. Oh, look at this. She'll like hold it. All right.
Blake.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Is there anything else you can tell us? She'll leave it. She'll put it down on the desk.
The origami doesn't move,
Mm-hmm.
but if you haven't closed the drawer, you will see it live. Otherwise, you'll hear it.
Mhm.
But another sheet of paper
Ah, oh,
begin
another one.
to fold itself up on itself and twist and make a question mark without the dot.
Oh.
Looks like we need to pick our questions carefully for the way it's going to be able to answer.
Yeah. This is one thing. It's not going to be. It's going to be shape or something that's a yes or no question, I think.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You know, Dee, the first time we met, you was talking to a pen
Mm-hmm.
and you managed to get it to answer some of your questions.
Yeah.
Do you think you might be able to do that again?
Depends on if the pens weren't receptive. The paper was.
True. Okay, well, we can try the paper first, but it's just another idea.
Paper seems to be the only thing that's responding to her right now.
Well, the paper was the first to respond.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that's a good idea. He has one of those like pen cup holders, right? Where you just stick like a bunch of like implements. Can any of you help?
You only get a sense of apprehension from like the lot of pens.
All right, we're friends of Killian, and what's the name of the gnome?
Telephone?
Telephone.
And a telephone. So we want to know what led to what happened here, or what, if anything, Killian was concerned about. That's all we want to know. We don't wish any ill. And we can take you with us if you want, instead of having to stay here.
Can you make a I'll go with manipulation and persuasion.
All right. Both good. Both okay. Let's do it. Come on. Damn. 7 successes.
Oh shit. Okay. So that's a lot more than what I needed.
This is the best roll I think I've had.
Holy shit.
There's so many 10s.
So because you've had 5 successes or more, I, as the GM, I have to relinquish the reins for a scene. So whatever you want.
I just want a receptive, knowledgeable pen that to work it out with this paper. And so she will she does the same thing that she kind of did with the at the very beginning, is like take she'll ask the paper that's out if it's all right if the pen, writes.
Yeah.
If it gives you like the lower, okay. And she'll click the pen and then kind of put it on the paper and just, okay. Is there anything you can tell me or tell us?
The pen begins to write. What is it you do? What is it do you need to know?
What was Killian using the globe for?
To search. He was using it to search.
Search for what?
Family.
Was he afraid of anything in particular?
not at first. But then he became particularly frightful around dogs.
Yeah, I've seen the dogs. Good reason too. When Dee's doing this, she is like inches, like she's on like eye level with the table.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of. She'll look at the anything y'all wanna ask them.
What
Were
happened
there-
here?
Go ahead.
What
You-
happened here? And also, like, how did he activate the globe?
Okay. How did Killian use this thing? The globe. And she'll look back at Kieran's like, here where? Which specifically? In the
Like-
office or in the room?
In a house? Like, what drove him to, end everything?
Okay.
To answer the question for the globe, the pen says he let his ink flow on it.
She'll
Now
she'll
you
look
kind of
at
have to.
she'll look at the rest of them. It's like, I think it's probably blood.
Tears?
I hope you don't have to pee on it. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it would be the equivalent of, or as important, if you will, as
Yeah,
ink for a pen.
it's the pen. Yeah, that's what the pen. The objects have their own like little perspective. So yeah, it's probably there's probably some sort of magic related to our blood or
Some about a blood-borne magic or something.
and then when you ask him what happened here, the pen begins to write almost like a novel.
oh, okay, all right.
But it writes in a different. It's a different tone,
Mm-hmm.
different different point of view because the pen writes in the first person.
Mm-hmm.
But you get the feeling that the pen is not so much answering your question as it is just repeating the motions of something that happened.
Oh, is it just dictating like
It probably
things that happened
was,
around it? Yeah.
Yeah, or it was used to write this exact block of text before.
Oh, it's
Like a suicide note.
It's
Almost.
yeah, it's just like it's record what last when things it was written. So was the note?
To paraphrase it, it is not a suicide note.
Okay.
It's more like a diary.
Mm-hmm.
It begins with a date. So March 4th. And it goes on to say that it's been 120 days now since I've left the house. They are everywhere, watching my every step. I can feel them closing in on me, but I cannot give them the satisfaction. If there is anything that I can still do, I will do everything in my power to deny them what they seek. And then it goes on saying how he was able to procure a vial of cyanide from a contact that he has made, who works at a lab, and that this is the like last. Doesn't even say last resort. He would say last hurrah. The only victory he can have over the I with a capital E, and those who work for him, or for it, I should say. And then it goes on to just very quickly, very briefly, I should say, speak about how all of the others, he hoped there are others, how most of them, were killed by the Theoi, and the others are being hunted down, and he is sorry he couldn't find even a single one. And the last few sentences are about how there is something strange in the world. He can feel that something has changed. Doesn't know what. But the world doesn't feel right anymore. He doesn't go on to explain anything else.
Yeah, this is.
It's mostly him jotting his thoughts down. Because there's no if you read this diary, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's mostly just something that he probably has done for a long time and became just a reflex to do. Put your thoughts down on paper all the time. And that's it.
Okay. Well, that's. I kind of hate this. No, she'll say the pen. No, not you. You did great. Thank you.
I forgot there's one last thing in the letter. The last line is something completely innocuous. Did I get milk?
Interesting way to end it.
Yeah, because the whole thing is there's a certain weight to everything that's written. And then the last question is just out of left field.
I see the name Theoi listed there. Is that the name that I recognize from literature?
Yeah, it is the name given more or less to the Greco-Roman pantheon.
On the map with all the marks, is there any place where you get milk from, like a market or something like that on there?
There is nothing marked on the map.
But if he did get milk, it would be stored here.
No, not the map.
Okay, the one with the thumbtacks.
Yeah. Or the marking that we got out of the car.
There is, aside from the thumbtacks, no markings or X's or notes or arrows or anything of the sort.
Well, it's worth a try. But now that we got that out of the pen, she'll well, thank you. And make sure you are not left here. And she will This is partially the reason why her bag is filled with junk, is that she'll take these things and just like she'll fold up the paper, put it in her bag, and like take the pen, put it in her purse. All right, so we have didn't want to be found, didn't want to be of any help to whatever was chasing him, and we have a globe that is unlocked with blood. So, as far as I know, that last sentence was just stream of consciousness thought.
Or it could
Pinballer
be-
runs to the
Sorry, go ahead.
refrigerator real quick. Was there any milk in there when we searched before?
Yeah, there were like, I think it's like three cartons.
Oh, there was milk. Oh,
Oh yeah, it's bad, by the way. It's
Yeah.
oh, geez. Okay.
Are they all from the same dairy slash distribution company?
Yeah. Like I'm not well versed in Lincolnshire. Well, maybe not Lincolnshire, but like UK milk companies. But yes.
Would it be something like that rather than a local dairy per se?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like something that you would have gotten at the supermarket.
Okay, there goes that idea. It was an idea.
Yeah. Oh, so now there's this real.
Here's my concern.
Mhm.
If there is milk in the house, you remember when we were over with his buddy, whose name I don't remember. At the very end, the dog actually got inside the house and was taking memories from people inside the house. What if at the very end, the dog actually got in the house? Because he wouldn't just forget milk in the middle of writing a journal entry unless something,
That is.
Possibility. But with this smell in the air, it was enough of a memory to remember to take that before he killed himself.
Or that if it couldn't find what it wanted from him,
Mm-hmm.
it went someplace where it maybe could.
And I was able to trace the torque to where
Well, I mean,
a friend in Ireland is.
if it got memories, it knew who to look for.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody got some extra blood they feel like giving a go on that globe with?
Sure, why not?
Finbar walks over to the globe, pulls a penknife out of his pocket,
Mhm.
pricks the tip of his left index finger, and then squeezes it until a small drop of blood lands on the globe.
You smear blood. You drip a little blood on the globe, but there are no sparks of magic. It does not seem to have.
As I take a closer look, do I see any spots where blood has been put on or smeared?
your blood is on it. Like it hasn't
Yeah,
been
smeared.
absorbed or.
No, but I mean, do I see old blood? on there.
No, not at all, actually. The globe
Hmm.
looks brand new.
Can I see any signs on it that someone's recently cleaned it? Removed any stains from it?
Hasn't been clean.
Okay, so there goes that idea. I wonder if the ink that he was putting on us, maybe art, the pen was taking that from arcane energy.
It's entirely possible from its point of view. Although this first option probably would have been the easiest for us to deal with.
When you put the blood on the globe, did you just put it in a random spot?
Probably. Do I see any kind of receptacles or places that would be designed for holding any kind of
Nah, there are
droplets
no
of liquid?
there are no evident receptacle, but also there are no like recesses that you can see. You get the feeling that it's just you probably did the right thing, but there's something missing still. Maybe it's the quantity.
Ooh.
Maybe
Either of-
it's the person.
Maybe, yeah, like,
It's not the right blood,
yeah.
perhaps.
Maybe one option is that he didn't want anyone else to use it.
He
And-
keep this to his.
And in his current state, no one can. Not unless you want to, get lightheaded trying to make this thing work.
No, I don't feel like giving a pint of blood in order to try to activate this thing. I don't think we're at that kind of desperation. If he was looking for family, would that be, if it was blood family, it would be looking for inherited traits or something like that, that would be in the blood. But if he was looking for family as in others like us, maybe it's just looks for people with this from the same traits, the same pantheon,
Mm-hmm.
the same heritage within the pantheon. We'd have no idea of knowing.
I mean, all this seems like he was a world traveler, so any latter option?
So with all of the travels he had on those tapes and all that, evidently my guess is he was looking for others like himself, i.e. others like us, rather than necessarily specific ones, pantheon-wise, because otherwise wouldn't his travels be more centered in one area?
And it didn't seem like it was that successful
Mm-hmm.
from the look of things.
Do we know what pantheon he's from?
Well, if we go by the torque that he has and something like that, it looks like it's more of a either Brit or Gallic kind of feel to it. It's definitely not from the pantheon that I'm from. It doesn't appear to be Norse like yours.
No, and it's got the end of the torque are horse heads.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which tells us we're talking European, like the Gauls, or Germanic, something like that.
Actually, yeah, you without knowing the pantheon itself, Eddie remembers the smell that doesn't align with any of the ones you have. Well, not just the smell, but like the everything, the divine sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because it smelled like roasted hazelnuts.
Mm-hmm.
The cracking or crinkling of leaves, and neighing of horses.
Did Eddie share that with everybody, or is that something that only he knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I would have shared that with everybody.
Okay. I'm stumped, man.
Well, if you want, we
I
can.
suppose we should. I guess we go to the next spot on the map, like maybe where he's getting his food, so to speak.
He's just gonna try something just like before we like walk away from this globe. She's gonna take a grain of rice and put it on the globe.
On the globe, it just falls
Okay.
down.
For the shot. Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll go to quick break, and that way, when we come back, we'll talk behind the scenes where you want to go next, and then we'll pick right back up then. Stick around, everyone. We'll be right back in like 5, maybe 10 minutes at most. Hey, we're back. So back in our little empty house, now with 100% less post-its. The 5 of you, again, are surrounding the wooden globe. Finbar attempted to put his blood on it. Didn't do anything. Anything else you would like to try?
I don't really think we're going to get any much further with this thing here.
Not without a lot of investigation, and we don't have the time.
No, there are other things that we need to take a look at too. Maybe we should try go ourselves at the house, and we'll bring this back and whatever else that we can, and then we'll head out to our next destination.
Sounds like a good plan.
Sounds good. Okay, we pretty well documented everything we could here, at least.
We can bring the videotapes too.
As you exit the house, all of you can see, the neighbors.
Mhm.
They're still spying.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see the eye in the sky from here?
If you look over to the west, it's faint because you're, rather far away from Ireland. But there are, like, reddish clouds.
Good.
A
Good.
long ways away to the west.
Excellent.
I was curious if it was visible all the way out here or not. All right, I guess we roll.
Oh,
Oh, plenty of doorways here. We'll just open up one back from here.
Yeah, you can, like, not exit the house if you want to.
that's probably.
Finbar would still look out the window or the door just to see if he could see the eye there, because of the curiosity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that would be when, like, you see the... and no dogs anywhere.
Good. Excellent.
So you warp back to the house. Just gonna need thing.
Do we remember our bud in Ireland? Do we remember if he said that his dog died first or his friend died first?
Friend died.
Okay.
No, sorry, dog died first.
Oh, did he ever tell us what killed the dog?
Oh, it was just old age. If I forgot to say it,
Okay.
you could, like, retroactively, you remember. Oh yeah, we asked them. It was just regular. Because from what Peter was saying, his old dog and Killian were, like, the two attachments he had. Like, the two sort of anchors he still had
Mm-hmm.
to England. And it was like when both passed away, there was no reason for him to stay.
Oh.
So he sold his stuff and that. So if I understood correctly, you are teleporting back to America. That it?
And bringing the globe with us.
Yep. Bring in.
All right. Then we are back near the lake. Lakeside cabin is there. There is, for some reason, an elaborate dollhouse on the porch.
Oh yeah, Gotta get someone to deliver that to telephone.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That thing.
I'm sure they will be happy living inside this.
It's better than actually having to buy a real house.
And look, everything's to scale for him. That'll be nice.
You know what? Let's send John to do it. We're a little busy.
Sounds fine by me.
Where am I going?
Oh, we'll just
He
open the
asks.
portal. Yeah, just deliver that to this junkyard. See that Toyota Tercel there?
Open the hood, make the drop, head back. Milk run.
All right.
Just don't engage him too much in lively conversation, shall we put it that way?
Yeah. Especially do not call him a dick gnome.
Okay. Will do. And with that, he will like take the dollhouse.
I'd have get you 10. He comes back shrunk.
No bet. It doesn't sound like he took our warning seriously.
We'll see how it goes.
All right, speaking of milk run, shall we go see where this guy got his dinner?
Yeah. Now that we can drop off the giant globe here and some other thing.
While we're doing this, I'm going to check my messages. Did that guy from Japan give us a call yet?
Yes.
He did.
He's like, hey, so I'm in New York. I landed about, and like there were multiple messages. So the last one is like, it's been like 6 hours. The fuck's happening? Where are you? Where do we meet? Like, I don't like this at all.
Oh,
Oh, that's right, youth.
can we can just send Winnie and Morning to go get him.
Yeah. He's a few.
He was supposed to go to Niantic. What the hell?
He. Well, no, he would have known where Niantic was or asked someone for it. So yeah, we'll say he's in Niantic, not New York. Is he landed? Then probably like took a bus or something to Niantic.
Okay.
But is still like waiting in Niantic for you. So yeah. Morning and Winnie can go get him. It'll take a few hours because of course they have to do like while they could teleport right away, they still have to bring him physically back to the house.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go the mundane way, to and fro.
And while Eddie's doing this, I'm going to check to see if I've heard anything back from Nama to see if she's got anything on the research that we asked her to do.
With those 2 days past, does she have anything? Give me 2 seconds. She does not for now.
Okay. Didn't know she would or not. I figured let's go ahead and check while we got the opportunity.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit more time to find more info about it. So where do you teleport back?
I'm going to teleport back to that location marked on the map that I took and said, find food here.
Um. Damn, 2 seconds. I need 2 seconds. Yep. There are no doors nearby. Like, you're gonna have to walk a bit. So the location that was marked on the map with the find food was in Greenwich. The actual Greenwich.
Mhm.
Sorry, not like in America.
Mhm.
And you basically, the closest, like if you Google map it, the closest place that you could see, that you could come out of, is an old church.
Huh.
It's not abandoned or anything, it's just like an old church place. And then you're gonna have to walk for a bit. And it essentially leads you to I'll say a park, but it's more like an expanse of grass and a couple of trees. Not really maintained by the city itself. Most of the grass has like died or yellowed with time.
Mhm.
It's not the not the best well kept place, let's say. And there probably used to be some sort of upkeep that was done to the place. Because you can see, like, in most places, the way the trees were planted, like, you can see it sort of delimited an area. But that would be where the food is. The closest buildings that you see around you. Let's bring it up.
Hmm.
Oh, come on. Sorry, my computer has decided to utterly freeze. Am I still
Oh,
there?
no.
Can
Yeah,
everyone?
Yeah.
yeah,
still
you're still
Okay,
here.
Okay, so you can probably hear me. Maybe not see me. What the heck is going on?
Hmm.
Oh boy. Okay, if you look around where you are, you will see there is a couple of rows of houses around. There's a sporting goods store. And the closest thing that you can see, which would be like at the very edge of this area, is an ice cream place.
Yeah.
It's not really the place where go for like, unless he's like a, I don't know, ice cream aficionado. With a quick
Or
Really
Google search,
possible.
with a quick Google search, you realize that this place isn't like a super well-known, mega popular type of place. It's like a local, almost like mom and pop store.
Local secret formula kind of place.
But the park smells faintly of roasted hazelnut.
Oh.
And that's not your human nose.
All right.
Interesting.
Well, now we're getting somewhere. Eddie starts just rolling up his sleeves.
All right, let's see what this is all about.
Could it be this Killian person was on all dairy and nothing else diet? I mean, making sure he had milk. The place is coming for food as an ice cream establishment.
Now that I think of it, I can see how like you could make those that sort of
It's like
come to that conclusion. But like it's not intended in the stuff that I do. It wasn't intended.
okay. All right, I'll detach that line of logical deduction.
Yeah, like it's cool. I didn't think about it.
I was thinking, if we got a calf here that's looking for the next udder to go to feed on.
Yeah, no, it's the milk was supposed to be just like I wanted something super mundane. And the ice cream place just happens to be the closest thing. Like on Google Map, it's the closest restaurant type of place. So if you begin to search through the park, I will. Yeah, no, you won't need to make a roll. It'll take a few hours. Well, okay. Here's what I'm proposing. Take a few hours to search.
Yeah.
You'll find something come nightfall. Or, if you want to do it faster, then I will ask you for a roll.
Okay.
And if you fail, it just will be the same as if you hadn't rolled. Like you'll find what you're supposed to find. It's just a question of time.
Cool.
What would you prefer?
I'll take the chance.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to roll for it, I will
Who
need
knows?
a total of 7 successes.
Okay, because who knows if like those whoever's in charge of the dogs like has been aware of what we're doing. So I guess speed would be nice.
All right. So it'll be an intellect plus survival check.
Cool. Okay.
For anyone who wants to search the place.
Well, I don't have much on survival, but I got good on intellect, so hopefully it'll balance out.
Okay, I'm okay at both, I guess.
There's 2.
And that's 7.
Ooh! Someone is a hot hand.
Wow, that is a much damn.
Yeah, Lynn, what the fuck? 4 10.
This is gonna my next game. I'm gonna be just screwed real bad. Probably like this is all the luck in one.
The universe will rebalance.
It will rebalance itself. It'll be.
So like you have Eddie like rolling up his sleeves and going like, okay, we're gonna go to work, and Dee just heads out.
Probably like she's probably just like also like asking like whatever spirits are here like for any like hints, like small talk.
If I was to put flavor on it, the reason why you found it is because while most of the grass speaks English, some does not. Some speaks a language that you have never heard. And as you start following those like confusing babbles, you end up finding a place, and I figure like the rest of the group, like you're gonna call them to follow, or they're all following anyway.
Yeah, I think she was an anecdote. Like she's like, like I've read something where like if you want to bury a body, you put like endangered like plants on it so no one digs it up. Like that's what she's like. As she's like, there's something unusual about the grass here. I'm gonna go fair word.
Too bad I can't hear it, so I could interpret it for you.
It's not even a language. Does Finbar speak even dead languages?
I don't know, but the doodad I have that translates languages.
I think if you want, that D can like
My Bard's
as much as
Quest.
she can like phonetically try it is probably not legible. It's like
You're never stumped by any codes
Oh,
or
wow.
encryptions.
Mm-hmm.
Converse in read a foreign language. Your communication is flawless.
Yeah, so it's foreign
I
for
can't-
sure.
But I can't hear the plants, so it's
yeah,
No,
it's useless. But
she can repeat what they're saying.
mhm.
yeah, as
Yeah.
it's probably gonna like lose. It's probably gonna be fairly like like a
Yeah.
terrible game of
Mhm.
telephone, you know, like
yeah,
like
But you
So better than nothing.
identify- Yeah,
Yeah.
Finbar, you identified a language as actually Gaulish.
oh
they're speaking in ancient Gaul. That's it. How convenient.
that's good. Any idea what they're what saying?
They're saying, "Where are we? Where is this? What is going on?" And some are just saying, "Ah."
They're lost and confused.
God,
That's-
that translation of it's like what is this?
Yes, some phrases translate across all languages and dialects. And that phrase will be one of them.
And one thing that is striking as you search is the Gaulish grass never yellowed.
Hmm.
Much like the moss on the skeleton,
Mhm.
it looks like it's supernatural, or I should say super resilient,
Yeah.
and can grow and thrive on nothing.
Yeah, it's just like you see like a lawn and just like there's a real green. It's like, why is that like that? Everything else is
The grass
dead.
is always greener over the septic tank.
Oh.
So you make your way following the patch of grass, and eventually what you do find is just it's not a fairy ring, okay? It just happens to be a amalgamation of tiny mushrooms. Again, you have like flyalaric, sorry, and other like button mushrooms. What was the name again?
What was it? Oh.
At the same time, we saw around Killian's body.
Yeah, the same ones that you saw around
Yeah.
Killian's body. It's because most of them you would know are poisonous.
Mhm.
They are called because they look like perfectly edible mushrooms. But they're not.
Do not eat mushroom.
Yeah, they're
Deadly
basically-
nightcaps and stuff like that.
No, they're I think that's what porcino, I think, is the word I'm looking for.
Different family then. Okay, than what I was thinking of. The
But I
ones that
think
turn your
porcino
liver to
is
Swiss
edible.
cheese.
Yeah. Boletus edulis, or penny bun.
Penny buns,
Those are
yeah.
the edible ones. So it's like it's these, and then it's other like poisonous mushrooms. But yeah, they're there. Not necessarily arranged in a neat little circle, but definitely growing, I'd say within a D&D term, 5 by 5 foot square.
Yeah.
circle.
Are they shaped
That's-
kind of like an oval thing, like if it like around a body per se, or something like that, or is it not quite that precise?
It's actually the opposite. Not around a body, but shaped like a body.
I am. D looks at it like, okay, so there might be a body here.
What would be your first guess?
Oh, by the way, you know, we're more or less late afternoon by now.
Mhm.
Tea time is over. So there are people, like, you're in the middle of this vast expanse of grasslands, right? But you can still see, like, ahead of you, good, like, maybe dozens of yards. Like, there are people walking on the sidewalk. Like, they can see you. If you do anything,
Mhm.
I'm just saying it, if you do anything weird, people will notice.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, we got convincing
We don't
people.
care
We
what
can.
they
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. All right. So, dig.
Yeah.
All right. I got something in
I'll-
here.
Oh, you do? I was
Yeah.
just gonna grab some shovels from the house.
She has things. You have to dig up things for these spirits sometimes. She has like strange tools in this bag.
Like some garden
Like a
trowels
collapse-
and stuff
yeah,
like that?
collapse.
Yeah, it would
shovel.
probably be a trowel more than
Yeah,
like
it's a
an
collapse.
actual shovel.
It's a collapse. Yeah, it's like a trap.
I think we're gonna need something a little heavier duty than this.
All right.
Well, we can get started while we wait for you to
Yeah.
zip in and out.
I'll do that. I'm just gonna go zip back to the house and pick up the shovels that mysteriously appear on the back porch.
When you teleport to the house, you take the shovel, and like, you know, you're just doing like an in and out. But by the time you go out, you just hear a like, "What the fuck did you make me?" As like JD shouts at you as you're leaving.
Told you not to call him a dick gnome.
And you reappear again.
We
You
didn't
have to walk to the park.
We were asked. We didn't say watch out for a dick. Just don't touch his spirit.
I told him to talk nicely to him. I did warn him.
We did.
So there's a few minutes between the time when you Eddie have to like walk, leave the place, come back. Everyone else has started digging with the trowel. It's takes a while. You've probably dug, I don't know, like 6-inch almost around like the whole area. But still at that point, no trace of a body. You keep on digging for some time. The sun is beginning to set on the horizon when you hear, and you still haven't found a body. You're about 3 feet deep at the deepest. And then you hear this very sharp sound of a police whistle. And you see these two police officers, you know, with the strange, like, domed hat. And one of them is, like, whistling at you, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And they approach you both. Well, they both approach you. And they look strangely familiar. Not exactly officers Nunes and Chad, but like their British equivalent.
Oh, those guys again.
So it's you know, instead of a like Latino American and an African American, it's like a Spanish immigrant and an Egyptian immigrant. But they have the same, like, demeanor. And, they're like, "Oi! What's it you digging for?"
We're from the University of Galway. We're doing an archaeological survey of the area, and this area has some very interesting traits to it that we feel might be of archaeological importance.
Shit, I was just going to say we were in the gardening club. That's good.
So the like Nunes equivalent will reply, "Was your paper? Do you have the proper permits for this?"
I believe my friend over here has all of our paperwork, and I point to Karen.
I do. I do happen to have our paperwork right here, and I'll pull out my key and show him the paperwork.
I give it here.
No, I don't think so. This is our only copy that we have here at the moment. So if you could just inspect it while it's in my hands, I would appreciate it.
Our university's cheap. They don't give us very many. They only gave us one copy. Budget cutbacks.
You know, we hardly got the funding to be here in the first place.
Why do you think we only have these shovels instead of something a little bit more professional for archaeological?
Yeah, the Chad equivalent. So the Egyptian guy like looks around. He's like, while the other one is like reading the paper, and says, "Oh, aren't your people supposed to have paint brushes and ropes and sticks and I don't know, a light fixtures somewhere?"
Like I said, we've had a lot of budget cuts in the department. This is all that we were able to get. The university was able to give to us, and half of this is out of my own funds.
He's about to say something, but the other, the Nunes one, like taps him on the shoulder, and he's like, "The permits checks out. It's proper signature and everything. The counselor, it's on it. Okay, well, next time, do give us a call before you start digging, just so we're aware, because people were thinking you were burying a body here."
I can understand that, but for the type of delicate research that we're trying to do here, we don't exactly want to attract an audience. Sometimes I can destroy the artifacts that we're looking for, because some of them are quite small.
Who's digging?
I mean, we should probably say that Eddie is making short work of it between his endurance and his physical prowess.
Then I will ask Eddie to. So you're a former stuntman. You're kind of aware that things can go wrong last second. So I'm gonna ask you a Dex plus Athletics check.
Oh my, what?
As the ground will give out from under you.
Wait.
You manage to jump out of the way. Basically what happened is you struck the ground with your shovel. And like the shovel went in and in and in. And everything around you began to cave in and crumble. Because it's centered around Eddie, like D, you have enough time to move back out of the hole.
It's always tangentially or like next to something bad happening to someone else in this.
You're about 6 feet deep when it opens up. And it opens up to a burrow, I guess, would be the term. Like an underground tunnel.
How
Big
big?
enough. It's big enough for a human to walk, like to crawl on all fours.
You know what?
But the cops are flabbergasted. They look at this, say, "Ooh, this is a big hole you dug there."
Now you can see why we didn't want any spectators around. We didn't want anyone else getting hurt and possibly falling into something like this. So if you mind backing up a little bit in case something else gives way. We don't want to be... Our insurance covers us, but it doesn't cover spectators. That would include, unfortunately, fine folks of the law like yourself.
They look to each other. They whisper like a little something, and Nunez, well, the Nunez equivalent, I should say UK Nunez, like tips his hat and says, "We'll get this whole place cordoned off, but any deeper and you might strike a gas line or a phone line, and that's gonna spell trouble. Like, you don't have your papers, don't account for that. That would be destruction of public property. So you make sure that these are, you stay away from city stuff." But and he looks in the hole again and is like, whatever big mole you're chasing is I don't know what it is, but I can't wait to see it in the papers.
All right, thank you, good sir. We'll do our best to keep everything cordoned off here. And don't worry, and I just wave a sheet of paper. We got all of the lines mapped out on here, so we know where they are, so we can avoid them.
And UK Chad, as they're leaving, says, "Oh, and also, you might want to put a leash on your dog over there. You don't want it running around all over the place." And he points to a large, black, one-eyed dog just sitting by the tree line, staring in your direction.
Yeah. Okay.
So Eddie's just gonna poke his head up over the hole. So you guys can handle the dog, and I'm going to go check this hole out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll go there as well. Figure out where this is.
So
everyone,
yeah.
I motion to Karen, get in the hole. I'll take the tail. And
I think this is it's all you have to kind of crawl to get in there, right? For it to be able to fit.
Yeah, once you jump in the hole, if you want to go into the tunnel, because you basically broke the top of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So either direction, you're gonna need to crawl on all four.
Okay. Dee is spooked by this dog, so the second that the officers turn their back on her, she's gonna turn to a fox and just jet into the tunnel.
Yeah, you have no problem.
Just
as a
gone.
fox, there's room for
just gone.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want the backup professor?
I'm telling you, you get in, and that'll be following in behind.
Oh, you don't have to tell me twice. I'm going.
And officers, I might warn you, we've seen this dog run around before. It's mongrel. It's not ours.
Oh well, then. And UK Nunez whistles again, and they both take off after the dog, who doesn't appear to be scared of two.
Oh no!
But wasn't the intended effect? We'll take advantage of the time it gains us.
Oh.
So I know that Eddie, D, Kieran, you're in the hole, so I'll just wait before I get to you, because I want to know, Finbar, how long do you watch what's about to unfold? What's your trigger to act?
My trigger is to go down in the hole. Once I see the Karen's in and going, I look to see if the hound even engages with the officers before I disappear in as well.
The hound will look at the officers, like, as they approach, and very much look at them like like a human would look at people approaching. It doesn't really have this, like, animal behavior, really.
Of course it wouldn't.
And they both, like, they were jogging up to it, and the closer they approach, the slower they go. And at some point, they just look to each other, shrug, and one of them leaves. The other stays in the park, like, the Chad, UK Chad, like, will walk around in a circle, hands on his hips, just looking at everything and nothing,
Oh god, it ate UK Chad. Memories.
and really looks like he's lost.
Oh, it did. Oh,
As soon as
no.
I see
UK
that, I
Chad.
dart down in the hole. I don't wait any longer. It's ate all their memories of either what they were doing there or us or both.
Oh, UK Chad. No.
On a human without any divine influence on them, it did way more than that.
Probably
But
wipe the memories clean.
you don't have time to, like, look more at it, and you just crawl into the hole and go. By, like, a split second when you duck into the tunnel, Finbar, the dog doesn't seem to have paid attention to you. It paid attention to the two police officers,
Right.
not you, not the rest of the group. So you may believe, if you want, that it's not going to follow. Like, it would be logical that it doesn't follow necessarily, like, right away.
Yeah, right away.
Tunnel goes north to south. I would like to know. Eddie first, because you were the first one in it, then D, then Kieran. You know, you can split up if you want. Which direction do you take?
I think that Eddie would have actually let D go first because D would be moving much faster than Eddie through the tunnels. And he would probably take the opposite direction.
Do we really want to split the party like this? You know what happens when they do that in Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, Fred gets lucky.
All right, well, which way are you going, Professor? I'll go the other direction, I guess.
I guess let's find out which direction D heads off first, and then we'll determine which one. Because I would say probably you go with, because of fighting skills, I'd say you go with Eddie and I go with Lynn.
All right.
Or I go with D.
Yep.
So this is a crawling space only, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take out my key and turn it into one of those headlamps.
Yeah.
So who goes north?
You know what? I'll say D just like shot in there, so it's like me on. She'll go north.
I'll follow behind her then.
So Finbar, D are going north. Eddie and Kieran are going south. Yay, thank you, Photoshop. Not Photoshop, Adobe Reader. Yes, I know. I'm out of memory for everything because, I don't know, screw Adobe. So those going south, Eddie, to begin with, you can feel after a few feet or so, you think you're probably by this time, like, near the edge of the park. It snakes a little, the tunnel goes up and down a bit, but at some point, like, goes straight for a while, and it's when you begin to crawl in the straight part of the tunnel that you feel there is an Axis Mundi within a mile of you.
Interesting.
It's south, of course. Those going north takes a little while. The tunnel goes down slightly, and eventually you get to a pit. Not very deep. Like it may be this much,
Okay.
almost a foot deeper. The size of a kiddie pool,
Okay. Huh.
filled with human bone.
Cool.
Most of them covered in that same green moss.
I think before I think when Finbar gets there, like D and Foxform is just like you just see the fox like hind legs just like looking over the as tall as she can get, like on things, like eyes open and just kind of like motions. Oh, we can't.
You're a fox, but you got deer in the headlight eyes right now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, and then she's like just like looking at the where she's standing in the pit.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do we have here? Is this a ceremonial burial pit, or they just all do they look like they were laid, or were they just tossed?
It looks like they were tossed, but sorry, I should rephrase that. They were half and half. They were tossed, but as like almost like as a bundle, each of them. The
Okay.
bones. I mean, they end up mixing at some point, right? But it's not a mass grave.
Okay.
It's more like someone stockpiled dead people.
I think she's gonna
If
like
that makes more sense.
Yeah. Kind of like stacking cordwood.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's like they were storing them here for some reason.
gonna turn back into, like, okay, what the hell is this?
Some sort of burial pit, but they were placed in here, for lack of a better way of saying it, so they could come back and get them later.
What does it even mean? What? Why?
I have no earthly clue. I don't recall anything in my studies like this, right? No, this is totally outside my wheelhouse on this one.
Yeah, it is very much something that I mean, anyone knows that there are a lot of like burial grounds across England of like older like civilizations that were there, but there's like a tunnel system that leads there. It's almost unbelievable that no one ever stumbled upon it to begin with. And also it looks too man-made to just be hey, you came across a Celtic burial ground type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that someone's intentionally dug. It's not a natural formation that's like,
No,
oh,
that's
here, we got a natural barrow that we can
No,
place the
absolutely
bodies
not.
of our
Yeah.
dead. It's like they were storing them here for some reason, but for what? Some sort of weird necromantic ritual, or
You know what? I hope not.
yeah, you and me both.
She'll
wanna
like she's
look-
gonna like
Go
look
ahead.
behind to like it's not following, is it?
Not that I can see as of yet. And as we look around, I'm going to look around to see if I can see any kind of runic markings or anything like that, indicating any kind of origin or source or even dating
They got her phone.
for this.
And Dee will take out her phone flashlight and just kind of like help look. What the hell?
Okay. The only marking that you can see, not a marking per se,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little like trinket, if you will. Almost like overtaken by the moss completely.
Mm-hmm.
Of a it's a wooden wagon wheel, about yay big.
Mm.
Each body has one.
They all seem to have one of these on them, some sort of religious or social significance, either indicating belief or tribe or something like that, or maybe a combination of both.
So hopefully not necromancy then, I'm hoping.
Yeah. But what?
I mean, it's weird that this is like here, right?
Yeah. Weird. One, weird that it's here. Weird two, that it hadn't already been found yet with all of the development that's happened around here.
Yeah. Oh, she's gonna win since she's gonna hold like one of the wagon wheels. Just gonna ask it what happened here.
The wagon wheel will, it replies in feelings
Mm-hmm.
of peace and calm, and this like knowledge that you know, like when you're inside a house during a thunderstorm,
Mm-hmm.
you have like this sense of well, when it's not, you know, recent thunderstorms anyway, like that you're safe from the elements. It's a sense of calm, but knowing that like there is danger around, but you're okay where you are. Like eye of the tempest type of thing. Eye of the hurricane.
I have the storm.
Eye of the
Yeah.
storm.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, this if this mean anything of like it's strangely like at peace, like it's safe from danger or dangers
Whatever.
around it.
From whatever might be causing it trouble or strife.
Yeah, it's not the worst feeling, but it's trying to make heads and tails of what's doing here.
That's safe from what?
Yeah. Wait, wait, where'd the other two go? I thought Huh. I said, oh, she said, where'd the other two go?
They went the opposite direction of us.
I mean, these are like, oh, it's probably good we didn't hear anything. Okay, I mean, I don't hear any noises, so
So far, so good. I'll take silence as a good sign.
yeah. So it ends here, right?
Does the tunnel end? Yeah, I was going to ask the thing. Does
Yeah,
the
it
tunnel
does.
end here?
Okay. Okay. We can check if it's gone.
Yeah, we can double back. We can check to see if the hound's gone. I have a feeling it won't be. Then we can try to maybe catch up with the other two.
Yeah.
Tell them what we found.
Okay. I'll go up ahead. I might be faster in this. So if it's still out there, it can be easier to get away from it.
Sounds good.
All right.
And just in case, while we're crawling, I pull the shillelagh bat from my sling on my back and have it in my hand, just in case.
Yeah, she'll Dee will, in case like we have to like get away and won't come back, she'll take a picture of like the bones with the little object, just in case. In case we can't come back here because we are getting chased by a monstrous one-eyed dog. So you know.
You start heading back out. We'll be back to you. Hey, people going south? You go south for a bit. Maybe like another 5 minutes. By this time, like your hands and knees are kind of aching from crawling on them, and you're covered in dirt. And you get to a deadish end. So whatever was in front of you, the tunnel has collapsed. Eddie, you know that the Axis Mundi is right there. And looking around, you see like someone dug something with their fingers on the side of the tunnel, sort of like to create like a little pocket.
Sure.
And there's mulch in that pocket.
Mulch.
You have Kieran's light to sort of to guide you, see what it's like. Give me a moment. I need something better as a description. Ow. Okay, so it's like this white and black substance. It's you know when you leave like dead leaves outside for like over a year, how they turn to like they sort of keep their shape in a way, but like they're all like completely blackened, and if you try to touch them you'll realize that it's just like sticky sort of gooey thing, and there are like these tiny white mushrooms growing out of it. It's like someone put rock in that alcove, and it's like if you stick your finger in it.
Fuck it. Sure.
When you stick your finger in it, it reaches like about your first knuckle. So there's like a good little layer of this blackened. It's cold, and it doesn't like try to overtake you or anything. From what's your? Let me see something. Well, you have like the purview of journey. As someone who is like sort of in tune with traveling, I guess. You would know that this was an offering. This is an offering probably made to activate the Axis Mundi. It rotted away. You figure it's probably almost like something organic that needs to be given. You don't know exactly what, though, immediately. But you know that if you put the proper thing in the alcove, it unlocks the access. It acts as the key, if you will. Just like a doorway acts as the key for your cabin. Oh, and the smell of roasted hazelnut is very potent, coming from the landslide that's blocking the way, the collapsed part of the tunnel.
Hmm.
I think Eddie is going to try to text Lynn and Finn Barnes. Did you gather some of that moss over there? Or, anybody have any moss from the skeleton by any chance?
Would I get this message before we left the burial chamber? Probably.
Yeah, you would have, because it's 5 minutes one way, maybe like a minute or two to inspect the thing. You were also doing your inspection on the other side, though you didn't crawl that far up north.
Mhm.
But yes, you can just maybe you had like started turning around and you just
Okay. I'll run.
back.
As soon as I get the message, I'll turn back real quick and grab a handful and then come back.
Yeah.
As carefully and reverently as I can, not to disturb much of what's there.
You crawl back with a handful of moss. Eddie takes it, dumps it in the alcove. And when you do so, the collapsed passageway rewinds in time. All of the dirt and the stone sort of put themselves back into place. And beyond it is a glade outside. In the roughly middle of the day. Slightly overcast sky letting in god rays into the glade. It's a mix of pines and birch trees. There are also a few. Sorry, my knowledge of tree names in English is a little lacking. Poplar trees. So poplar, birch, and pine. God rays. It's quiet. Actually, it's utterly quiet. No animal sound. No wind. The leaves don't even crack, but the branches don't even crack, but you see the leaves sort of slowly and gently, like almost dance on the branches to an invisible song. And the way the tunnel comes out, you would basically be maybe a foot or two above ground if you were to walk out of the tunnel. And And between the trees, Eddie, since you're the first one, Kieran probably sees it a bit too if you try to like look over Eddie's shoulders. There is a construction. There is something man-made out of stone. But it's like somewhere in the distance. So it's mostly hidden by trees. But there is like a maybe it's an altar. There's definitely something.
All right. Well, my curiosity is piqued. Eddie is going to um, crawl through and start exploring the area, heading towards that constructed thing.
What about the other three?
Aaron follows.
Finbar will follow as well.
You will follow.
You'll especially be interested in this altar cairn that we see in the distance as well. I'll look towards D and say, "We found Morning's garden."
Maybe.
Yeah, Morning's not here to say it. Well, when Renee comes back, you can ask her about it. You end up in this glade. The trees are just spaced enough that it's easy to walk through it, but it still restricts movement just enough to say that fighting in this glade would be a hell of a puzzle. Anything that you would try to swing would pretty much either hit a tree, like if you're hitting like horizontally, or a branch if you're hitting vertically. But it doesn't look like the place has a desire for combat.
That's good.
When you step out of the tunnel, Eddie, of course, you didn't feel it. The others will be able to do the draw the parallel. But that same feeling that I described that the wheel had, like feeling of like calm, eye of the storm type of thing, is here as well.
Interesting.
And you make your way to the man-made structure, which appears to be a small, primitive forge. There is a so it's right. It's built like out of a block of stone that's been like carved a little to make like a bowl filled with coal. Completely cold. There's a sort of almost like a half dome that like a half of a bathtub, if you will, that goes up from the bank to try to like shield it from the wind and keep the heat there. Next to it, there is a tree stump, a rather sizable tree stump, upon which an anvil rests. There are tongs, hammers, like big, like sort of like almost a cement nail type of thing, like you know those like long nails. There is a barrel full of water, and all around the forge, all of the trees have blood on them. They're not like covered dripping, but like someone smeared like with a paintbrush, just blood on each of them.
Still concerning. Still concerning.
And a voice sort of appears from between the trees, everywhere and nowhere at once. As it speaks, the wind picks up. And it just asks in a rather quiet but concerned tone, "What are you doing here?" This isn't your place.
Uh, exploring? You're investigating a rather concerning presence, and our trail led us here. Who are you?
I am an echo. I am the spoke of the wheel that was once Killian Gardner. And you are?
Eddie Kahele.
Kahele. Polynesian?
Hawaiian, but sure.
I've never, unfortunately, visited Hawaii. And I guess I'll never be able to. And who are your friends, Eddie Kahele?
Well, they can introduce themselves. Why
I am
speak?
Finbar Odupta.
Hello, I'm Derek Ahiga.
I'm Karen Kearney.
None of you bear the name murderer.
Partners.
You are welcome here then. Though not for long. You are not
The murderers, you say?
Even if I possess this, and you'll hold up the torque.
The god rays disappear. The sun is completely overshadowed by dark clouds as the voice takes on a more angry tone
Uh-oh.
and says, "Where did you get this?"
In the possession of someone else that was being hunted by a one-eyed dog.
Is he alive? Safe.
He is. I believe that the dog was after this, so I took it for safekeeping.
The clouds begin to move away. The light comes back, but not as much as earlier.
Is this where Killian worked?
This is where I came to rest from the woes of the world.
Ah,
This is just an echo. This place isn't real to you. I can't really begin to explain how it is supposed to work. I knew very little myself. But this place, it used to exist before they built houses and roads on top of it. And so it found its way underground. But not. And like there's a little more light. Like as if to punctuate the fact that, you're not underground.
Mm-hmm.
It used to exist as the world. But now it is just a snapshot, a Polaroid of the month of Adrenios, the month of March. I myself am nothing. I am just a collection of thoughts.
Who
Hmm?
were those on the other end of the tunnel?
Family.
Mm.
Brought here to be safe. The depredations of those who would hunt us even after death. Well, before the wheel has turned.
Which wheel would that be?
The great wheel of life. They should have come back. All of us should have come back. But something is barring the wheel from turning. I know I have spent my life trying to find what it is. But all I got was the attention of the evil eye. The eye in the sky.
Yes, we are acquainted with that. The Eye of Baelor.
I did not know the name. I will forget the name again.
I don't suppose you have something around here that I can use to, well, extinguish said eye?
It hunted me and my kin over generations. I've been told that it can be made shut. I have also been told that the eye in the sky is just a projection. Kind of a in like a movie screen. It's more of a smoke and mirror type of thing. The eye itself definitely exists. I do not know where. I never wanted to. But the one in the sky is everything I know it to. But at the same time, I know that it is not in the sky. I can't tell you more because I don't remember. And at this point, I will never remember.
Were you
Have
the
you
one who
had
put the blood on these trees?
Yes.
the murderers? Are they associated with both the Eye and this hound that we've seen, or they separate entities?
The murderers were the Roman. Those who came and ensured that there would be no way for us to ever again be who we were. My family was betrayed from within, and because of that, we found ourselves unable to protect ourselves from the eye. It should not have come after us, after all. my kin and I were just the easiest prey.
Like any predator, go for the easy prey first before you go for the more difficult one.
As for my blood, it was just required, as it often is.
Was it used for sacrifice, or is this a war against something? Against it?
No, it's an offering.
Understood.
I don't remember why. But at the time, it was important. As he's talking, you notice that the sun in the sky has begun slowly but surely to set. Like, if it was about 1 p.m. when you got there, so like a little bit after the zenith,
Mhm.
Now it may be like halfway to setting, which, you know, happened over the course of like 15 minutes or so. Your presence here is coming to an end.
Are there
I
any
wish I-
materials here? Sorry.
Material-
Well, he's not asking this aloud, but
Oh.
Eddie is going to be looking around to see if there are any like materials left over to craft with.
That you can see. There's wood. There's plenty of wood. But you don't see any like iron or bronze, or because, you know, the torque is made out of bronze, but there's none of that. In fact, like, the forge exists, but now that you think of it, like, there's nothing to like smelt. Because normally, you know, you would take iron like from a riverbed or whatever, and you need to like melt it to do something.
Right.
And this place lacks this completely.
I think Eddie's going to help himself to some of the wood, with the idea of him crafting it into the weapon that he wants to later.
Out of curiosity, what quality of wood are you looking for? Or in the wood are you looking for?
Something that is very dense, I guess.
We do have some metal from a riverbed. I just don't know how susceptible it would be to reshaping.
Where
Mm.
did we get that metal from? Where did we get it from?
The skull, the metal skull that he's been carrying
Yeah.
around.
Oh,
Yeah. Just terribly cursed. It's okay.
You have a cursed sword now.
Holy.
Sword with a mind of its own. Perhaps.
Whoa. Okay, that's what I needed to see. Oh, geez. Thank you for not giving the pixels I required. Ah, there we go. Out of everything that's in here, the birch are the trees that you're gonna want to go for.
all right. He'll try to gather enough to make a the staff
Um,
that he was thinking about.
I mean that you can find like they're not. It's not dead wood. Like it's on the ground, but it's not dead. It's not rotting or anything. It's just like it should have, but it sort of didn't. Maybe
Some good
like the
material.
moss. Well, maybe more like the moss of the that you found on all the bodies. Like it survives for some reason. And it's big enough that you could like carve out. Because it's the 3-piece that you wanted, right?
Yeah, but I was thinking that I would need to carve it out of one piece of,
Of wood first.
of wood first, and then separate it afterwards.
It's like there's one that's about 6 feet in length.
Pretty straight.
Yeah. When I say 6 feet, like it's 6 feet that is sort of like it wavers a bit, but it's wide enough that once you've really like carved it out, it'll be a length of like a staff that is
Okay.
completely straight.
All right.
The voice doesn't acknowledge you doing any of this, but as you do, you get the feeling that like the place doesn't mind you taking from it so long as you sort of find it a purpose.
Mm.
I've got a great purpose for this.
Like if you were to just like, oh, I'm gonna take this and like burn it in my fireplace, it would
Oh,
probably anger.
I feel so bad. So bad.
But otherwise it's, it sort of feels like, not that it feels right, but it's like if you were to like go to a friend's house and like take a beer from their fridge. It's like, yeah, sure. Like, go ahead. You don't need to ask for it. The sun sets a little more. The voice says, soon this place will fade away. And my echo of an echo will be nothing more than a memory. You are not mortals who have stumbled here uninvited. Before I completely disappear, can I ask for a favor? I could not get the wheel moving again. Can you get the wheel moving?
Where do we find it?
I never knew.
Do you have any clues or lore that might tell us or point us in the right direction?
It's not in this world. It's not in the world of humans. I've visited many places, and it wasn't in any of them. I don't know where it is. And as if to like accentuate the sadness, the sky is completely overcast. And it's getting a little colder.
Can we use the hole that led us into this space to create an opening back to our house? I don't feel like crawling back up and fighting that dog again.
It's not an actual doorway.
Damn it.
That's
It's like a sewer opening would not work either.
Ah,
All right.
Did the voice say that the blood on the trees was Killian's?
Yep, it's his blood
oh,
made as an offering.
Do you have like a handkerchief or something in your bag?
I should have one. Yeah,
Do you mind if I use it?
yeah. Go ahead. I think I know what you're.
Okay, I want to dip the handkerchief in the barrel of water and then scrub as much of the blood from the trees as I can into the handkerchief.
You now have a bloody handkerchief.
You have bloody use handkerchief with tree.
Like, it's
You
not
have bloody
dripping blood, but it's like wet and
stained.
like pinkish.
It has
Right, it
some
has
remnants.
some blood in it.
Yeah.
And like, you wipe some of the blood, and as you do so, you can see in the distance the sun almost has set. Like, it's at the tree line. In game terms, you can probably squeeze in 1 or 2 questions depending on how much of his memory he needs to dig in to be able to answer.
What have you already tried to get the wheel moving again? That didn't work.
I couldn't even find it. Someone might have it. Something might prevent it from moving. I don't even know if it's a wheel. And as he says that, the grove sort of fades away, and the 4 of you, sorry, are back up on the surface. You're not in the park.
Oh, good. Good.
You're in the middle of the street, and a car honks its horn at you as it is about to drive, like plow into you. It's nighttime in England, and we're gonna end the game there.
Can I stop the car?
Like a rule not to be hit by a car. That seems like a good thing to.
Can I just
We'll
kick
start
it?
next
Can Eddie
No.
take a hit by a car?
Do the Hellboy down punch to
Yeah.
stop it?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Can Eddie stop the car? Absolutely. How? We'll see that next week. But yeah, you ended up being let me check if you want like a place on the like map of England. I'm gonna have to probably give it to you after the show because it's impossible for me to type anything. What the hell?
I mean, we're away from the dog at least. Hopefully,
We hope.
or at least out of the park where it
We
was
think.
watching us. I mean, we're not. We're totally not. But hope. Can hope.
Yeah, so because my stuff is completely frozen,
Oh,
aside
no.
aside from like my notepad, so yay, I can take notes. But let's go around the table. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, what do you have going on, anything you want to shout out, and then that's it, I guess. Oof, brain. D, hi. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet?
Hey, I'm Lynn, Flanksters on Twitter, Twitch, every place else, where you can find my art and what I'm doing throughout the week. And for this week, it's going to be a little bit busy. On Tuesdays on Twitch.tv Other Doc, it is our, like telling us, our Urban Shadows game, where there is probably going to be a hellish fight in the bottom of a gallery parking lot between like wizards, demons, werewolves, bunch of other people, mobsters. So it's gonna be a whole thing. And on Wednesdays on Critical Misses, we're going to be having our Humblewood game, where it's just been very sweet. Everybody's been having like a lot of emotions, and we're going to have to break into a wizard school, bunch of animals. Should be fun.
Nice. And then on the next row, Anino, where can we find you?
Hey, my name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. The next time you'll find me is probably Thursday on the Wandering DM channel at 8:30 Eastern Time for Sentinels of the Multiverse, and then over on Saturday here again on this channel at 1 p.m. for Scions.
Cool. You don't have brunch game?
No, not tonight.
Okay. So Finbar, who are you? Where can we find you?
All right, I'm Robert, otherwise known as Kentucky Hawkeye. You can find me on my channel. Hopefully later on tonight, I'm working on some logistics to make sure everything can happen to have my next edition of Grappler's Keep, my WW2K20 universe, where a number of DMs, GMs, and TTRPG players from across the Twitch universe compete in a ring we lovingly call the Dice Tray. I can't remember. I don't think Hannah's on the card for this one coming up. She's kind of licking her wounds after losing a piece of hardware last time around to Susanna Grace. And Simon, I think you're on the card, but I can't remember for sure. Let me grab it here real quick and take a look. Yes, you are on the card for this one. So
cool. Am I going to
you'll
lose
be there.
again?
We'll find out. I've got to try to get away from the crash issues that are quite common with the 2K20 version of the game. I'm actually pre-recording everything and putting it together, and then just doing the commentary live as it happens and all that. But this recording went crash free, so it'll be nice. It's going to be nice and smooth. So hopefully everything will go cook back as I try to work my way to getting my belt back that a certain Maladel stole from me by cashing in his bag of holding briefcase last time around. So. And then on Monday nights, I'm doing a stream with my daughter. I'm calling it Family Night at the Emporium, since that's what my channel is now called, Hawkeye's Old Time Gaming Emporium. And we are doing the Return to the Obra Dinn together. We're about half to three-quarters of the way through it. We're having a lot of fun with that one. And then hopefully on Wednesday nights will be my weekly Skyrim serial, where I have my Nord, that's more Nord than the Nords, Eric Rosine, and his four friends, the Four Horsemen, are traveling through the mod known as Falscar as we're trying to work our way through the intricate stories there. So otherwise, Cleric during the day, RPG Fanboy at night, you'll see me lurking around everywhere else. And of course, here as well on Saturday.
Awesome. And Hannah, where can we find you?
You can find me at Hanimation Art on Twitter, Hanimation Studios on Instagram and Facebook. You can find my con schedule, my artwork, pretty much everything on any of those places. And for streaming, you can find me here with Anino, as mentioned, on 8:30 p.m. for some Sentinels of the Multiverse, and then back here again on Saturday for Scion. So lots of fun.
And I'm Simon at Wandering DM. Thank you everyone for coming today. Thank you to all our sponsors. Thank you players for taking time off of your Saturday for this game. I will be back on Thursday. I'll be back on Wednesday for Witcher. Then on Praxagorathus Mephoria's channel. Tomorrow I'm also on Praxagorathus Mephoria at 8 or 8:30. Can't remember. Let's say 8 p.m. Eastern. And at worst, it's at 8:30. For Blue Rose, Romance of the Blue Rose, which is a romantic fantasy game. Then, on Wednesday for Witcher, same channel. Then back here on Thursday for Sentinels of the Multiverse, and then Scion next Saturday. That said, we'll also have a bit more Sentinels of the Multiverse coming your way, as we are going to record very, very soon the issue 0 episodes for all of our characters, so you can start seeing sort of where everyone came from and what their origin stories were. So that said, thanks again for coming, everyone. We'll see you next week. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.